everybody. Welcome back. All right. Welcome back. That's enough, Steve. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. This is the show where we will not pass on the grass. We'll take you from the green waves to the airwaves, and we will cough a lot. So, welcome to the show. This week, welcome back, Tim Harms.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
Good, man.
it.
You're one of our topics of discussion today. We're going to go over a lot of cool stuff today. First off, let's ensure that Justin is not on mute.
Well, he's not on mute on my side.
I was wondering how long I'd go dead air before you guys would freak out.
Okay. All right. So our topics today, we are going to go over the Gortosh. We went out, the four of us, and we did the film. We did the Gortosh film, the documentary, and it was released to the public. So we're going to talk a little bit about it because, Justin, you got a message today, man. Somebody was really upset that. Go ahead. Tell the listeners what happened today.
Yeah, so we've had a couple come in where people were, questioning different things and all that. But either today or yesterday, I got a message that someone was really upset that this information had been buried for so long and that they had never heard of it before. So
they had not gotten out before now. So, gentlemen, congratulations. We're saving people's their knowledge. We're putting them in the know. That's a good deal.
Yeah, he was very appreciative that we had done what we did to protect Missouri cannabis. So
yeah.
Well, 99% of it goes credit to you, Justin. You did a lot of the research and really dug deep down into it. And
yeah, that's real. You made it come to life.
And your cousin, the cowboy, tell him he did a great job.
Yeah.
too.
What was his name? What was that?
Chad Rogers.
Chad Rogers.
Chad Rogers.
Yeah.
Well, there's a long story behind
that. So we're also going to talk in one of our first segments here. Tim, I want to make your visit one of our topics. I've got a little bit of information I want to go over on what's happening over in Germany and Europe, and you were there. So we're going to talk a little bit about your visit. We're going to spend some time talking today about some of our new sponsors, Smoky River Entertainment District, which is where the biggest 420 event on the planet seems to be happening right there in Kansas City, Missouri. We're going to talk about who's going to be there, what it's going to be like, talk about some of the vendors that are going to be there. My friends, the Dab Stars, are going to be on deck. It's going to be a wild show, so we want to make sure we cover that. I also have a great, cool event happening April 7th. Corinne Spinks, a friend of ours on the show, is throwing the Blaze event. Now, that happened last year at the Union Station.
Right.
Well, it turns out that was so cool. She wants to do it in every community, every larger municipality out there. So Kansas City, look out. St. Louis, look out. Columbia, we're taking it everywhere. I'm going to MC that event, so I want to make sure you guys know all about it, how to get in, who can get in for free, and what it's going to be like. We're also going to talk a little bit about some of these. I've had a lot of folks asking me on my socials and everything about these drinks that I've been having. I took the dry January like everybody else did and kind of extended it out. So since the beginning of the year, I've been leaning on cannabis drinks. So I want to go over some of those drinks and a big shout out. I noticed that a lot of folks are running out to the places that I tag on socials and all that and picking those up and giving them a shot for yourself. No pun intended. I really appreciate y'all listening out there and checking out the products that we throw your way because there's a lot of good stuff happening in Missouri.
Hey, wait, time out there.
Yeah.
I want to tell you congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man.
I'm dead serious. What you've done over the last couple months. Okay, I've lost push-ups on this deal.
I appreciate it.
I bet against you. Okay, but what I did. But it's all right. It's okay.
Meanwhile, I'm getting half my drinks from Tim, my Delta drink.
But again, I think that's one of the huge transitions in the weed industry is the beverage industry and the beverage market. I mean, we're not there yet. We're not even close, but it's coming.
I am going to beg to differ with both of you right now. I think that we were not there in a medical market. I think that this summer might just surprise you on how many Wink sales there are or how many Keef Cola sales or any of these drinks out there. I'll bet you they're the surprising skew. I think that Missouri's time is now to have those drinks. You can see from the alcohol sales in Missouri that are already dropping with medical sales, and I'll get you guys some data on that in the shows coming up too.
what sure seems like a lot of the companies that are coming at us with beverages it's coming.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, the branding,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Right.
just getting the cans to do it and the labeling, it's a business in itself.
And there's a part of it too where I want to define that culture. I don't just want to see if it happens. I want to help it happen. I want people to not have to go towards booze at every party. And if I go see Styx in concert, I want to go grab a stick of some weed and watch Styx in concert. So that's what I want. I want to see more of a safer place, a better place for all of us out there. And that's why it's so cool that we have places like Smoky River Entertainment District that are opening up to allow that. Because, you know, the Canna Closet's cool, man, but a Canna Event Center, I'm into it all the way.
Well, and I think there's, again, with what they're doing and with what you're doing, that's why you're the best MC in the game, brother.
I appreciate that, man. We're just doing what
So
we
keep
do.
up the battle, okay?
Right on. So let's talk about that battle. That battle can be talked about in the Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 book that we're going to talk about on the show today. That book is brought to you by Dr. Bridget Cole Williams, who's a friend of the show and a friend of cannabis all over the place. She's got a wonderful book that's got lots of authors in it, including I'm very blessed to be in the book. I'm very stoked about that. But I want to be able to tell the stories of the folks that are in that book. And we've got some very special people. Bronwyn Scarberry is going to be on. She's a teacher. Her story is going to blow your mind. I'm talking about middle of class. Take the kids out of there. Let's bring in the cops. Let's search this teacher. Let's ruin her career. So let's talk to Bronwyn about that. Let's talk to Gerald Moore Jr. He's an athlete that we're going to talk to that's in the Courage of Cannabis. This guy had aspirations to be in the NFL and had a great path there with the Raiders and played with the Ohio Bobcats. So we're talking about a really cool dude. And when you talk to him, you're going to hear not just about athletes and cannabis. We're going to talk about social justice. We're going to talk about social equity. We're going to talk about all the ways that this plant can help folks in the athletic world, teachers, everyone out there. That's going to be a killer show. So welcome to the program. It's going to be a good one, guys. It's the Flower Power Hour. You guys ready to rock and roll?
We're ready.
All right. So this is going to be a good one. Justin, now I know I'm not ready for it yet. You let me know when you're ready for a break too, Steve. But Justin, I know that after the first break, we're going to come back and we're going to play Real Dispensary, Fake Dispensary for the first time on the show. Justin's got the wheel on that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So, do I got some time or you want to take a break first?
No,
okay. Well, we're going to talk to Tim then. All right. So I want to read about this here. Do you know the UN, which you were over there in Europe real recently?
Correct.
I want to talk to you a little bit about what that vibe was like. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what the UN says about our cannabis laws, which may surprise you. So let's take a little trip. Tim, you just left the United States. You ran over to, didn't run over, but where'd you head over to first?
So we flew into Germany.
Okay.
And spent a night there.
Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit about these places as you talk about them, because Germany has said that they want to be basically the hub of recreational cannabis over there, especially when it comes to transportation, logistics.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like there?
That's totally the vibe. So they've got really unique industries that I had no idea about. The wine industry, the vineyards over there on the banks of the Mains River, and their crops aren't as good as they used to be. They're looking for this alternative crop, and they think they can grow so much hemp and cannabis over there that they're going to be able to export to the U.S. So
Nice.
I mean so again, the vibe is really, it really seems like, if I could gauge it, like where Missouri was a couple of years before medical popped.
Well, see, that's what it says here now. It says that in the next few weeks, Germany is going to release what they believe their legislation is going to look like, or whatever their verbiage for legislation is. It says they're going to move forward with plans to introduce a marijuana legislation bill with certain changes that are after very good feedback from the EU. Now, the EU has backed the idea of legalizing marijuana in Germany, but their deal is that they believe that no one in their realm should go past the medical market. So recreational just doesn't exist in the EU's eye.
Well, right now they have a limited medical market,
right?
But I tell you, the black market's ripe. I mean,
of course.
I was telling Steve a couple of stories earlier today. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere, and it's so cool. to know that it's everywhere.
Now let me ask you, Germany, did you see any alternative cannabinoids on any shelves there?
Not in Germany, I didn't.
Okay.
No, but in Switzerland
Uh-huh.
and Austria.
Okay. Where'd you go after Germany?
We went to France.
Okay.
Yep, and then over to Switzerland.
Okay.
We come from France.
What was that, Justin?
We come from France.
Yeah.
Coneheads reference for those
Yep.
of us that are old
Yep.
enough to remember that.
So yeah, some of my young listeners are like Coneheads. Is that raw?
Conehead.
Is that made by Raw?
That was
Anyway,
good.
anyway. All right. So you went over to where was next there?
Okay, so we went from Germany to France,
Right. Okay.
to Switzerland, to Austria,
So which
and we are in Heidelberg. There's that
Okay.
little community out there that is really small between Switzerland and in Austria.
Okay. And was it easy to see people partaking in which areas was that? Did you see people
The
smoking?
most by far was in Austria,
Okay.
and it was a lot of vapes.
Okay, there's a
Yep,
lot of scentless
yep.
stuff.
Yep. Now again, the pictures I sent back came from a dispensary, quote, right?
Right?
Like a head shop here, Colorful Vibes
Sure.
type of shop.
Chock full of cannabinoids.
Oh yeah, everything. HHC, Delta 8. I mean, again, Delta 8 was huge. And I brought back an energy drink. That's,
Okay, yeah, I saw that. The cannabis energy drink.
yeah, a total fraud.
Well, when you look at he brought back this cannabis energy drink. When you look at the ingredients, it's literally like the ingredients from a Red Bull, and then they add a little bit of cannabis sativa extract. But then nowhere on the packaging does it tell you how much cannabis sativa extract is in there.
Yeah,
It's like, sure, dude. Would you just take a puff and blow it in there? Like, I don't think that's how that works, man. Like,
well, but again, let's go back to the power of marketing.
right.
Red Bull started
The power
in
of,
Austria.
the power of Justin.
Yeah, totally. Route 66 Labs.
Yeah, Red Bull did start down there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all they did was use the same form. They're already making the same syrup, right? So you just put it in a different can with green on it with a leaf and
Yeah.
kind of spin it around and put some ingredients in it that make it look like it.
So not a lot of flour prevalent.
In that shop, there was
Okay.
in jars, just like a deli style here.
And did you look at it?
Oh, yeah.
And how did it look?
Not good.
Not anything like what
No.
we got going on here?
No,
Okay.
no. They were all real small buds and they were really loose, really
Okay.
light.
Okay.
You could tell everything was dry. There was
Yeah.
no packs in anything,
They need that Integra Boost pack.
That's right.
Shout out to Integra Boost.
Right, right. And Brandon.
And Brandon Jones. Yeah.
Yep, amen. So yeah, it was this place. The guy was really cool. They own 9 stores. He said they're kind of riding on that fence of are they legal, are they not legal, and they're just nobody's.
A lot of gray area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, they're kind of where we were 2 years before medical. There were a lot of head shops that were getting in trouble at that time, and now they've kind of transitioned to kind of leave them alone because they
Okay.
see it coming.
Right.
And they're going to take advantage of it with the system that they've got set in place through Germany.
Well, okay. Here's why I think it's going to be very interesting. And I want to give you this information. And do I have time, Steve, or do we need to take a break?
Tell them.
Okay. It's going to take a minute.
Tell them.
Okay. I'm going to tell you then. Okay.
Tell them quickly.
So listen to this. And then you tell me.
Are you done yet?
I want stop it, Steve. And then I want you to think about the markets you just saw. Okay. And this kind of irritated me when I read it. The United Nations drug control body, the UN's drug control body, is suggesting that the U.S. is completely out of compliance with a decades-old international drug treaty because the federal government is passively allowing states within the country to legalize marijuana. While the UN's International Narcotics Control Board has routinely criticized countries for allowing the reenactment of cannabis legalization due to their obligations under the 1961 Single Convention to maintain prohibition, a section of the new annual report it released last week stands out by appearing to indirectly address state-level reform efforts in the U.S. The UN is shaking its finger at us and telling what we're doing wrong. So here's what I wonder with the European scene. Is the UN and the EU, are they laying out a medical-only conversation that's going to possibly create a massive amount of recreational prohibition and possibly lay out 100 years of mistakes and jail and reform that's going to happen over and over and over? Because it's okay for one state. It's not okay. But I see it if one state in the United States says, no, medical only forever and ever, amen. Well, then what do? We say, well, that's fine. That's what your little area is going to do. When the federal government does their thing, they'll decide. Well, it's different when you have something like the UN and the EU, who are massive bodies who make massive controlling decisions, and funding and military and humanitarian aid, all tied to whether or not you're going to agree or disagree with their decisions. They're possibly rolling out, in my opinion. Now, you tell me, you were over there. Are they setting up a trap there, a trap door for all of these folks out there, and have to create a new, just a brand new type of advocate and activist over there? Because I feel like that's what they're doing. They're creating a medical only market that's going to stand over nations instead of just one or two states. Mistake?
All about control. Bottom line, they're trying to control it from one country to spread it out. And that's what Germany's doing. And again, is that right or wrong? Like Steve and I were talking about, anybody can move product into that market. It's got to go through the testing and the compliance side, but they're going to control from that point on where that goes on the retail shelf.
Says here that the EU is complying and that Germany is complying, and they agree with the way that Germany's rolling it out. They're the first. They're going to control the logistics. They're going to do it right, the way that the government wants it. And I do believe that they're going to create a brand new flavor of prohibition in all of Europe.
We spent 2 hours yesterday on a conference call with a group of people talking about distribution.
Right.
This is all that what they're doing is they're creating a distribution channel out of the gate.
Yeah.
So is that wrong?
Is
that wrong?
They're wrong if it creates prohibition. There's ways to do these things without creating more prohibition. There has to be. Otherwise, why are we here?
Well, it's the same with our marketplace. I mean, until we get a true distribution channel, I mean, again, Missouri's going to create such a great opportunity. I tell you, I'm so excited about being in Missouri in this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, just compared to what's happening in
other states.
Yeah.
I just read that we could possibly hit $1 billion by October.
You know, again, we've talked about from day one.
Happy Halloween.
If we can just get the compliance piece right in the state of Missouri, we will be able to build more national brands out of Missouri than anywhere else in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Very cool.
We better take us a break. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios. We'll be right back, y'all. K-Kid 92.9.
Let's give a warm welcome to Smoky River Cannabis.
Hello, Missouri. Are you ready?
Premium brand.
We're the best.
High quality.
Unique.
Premium brand.
Different.
Unique.
Unique.
Premium high quality.
We're different. We're different.
Premium brand.
At Besame Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You are getting sleepy. You want to wax off. You need to wax off. Donde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? You will wax off as soon as you can. Wax off. Good. Wax off.
Yo, what's up? My name is Klaus, and I'm very excited to be a part of Team Wax Off with the commercials. My man Carlos is the guy who pushes the button on the camera, but I'm really the creative genius. So what I like to do with products is I put them in places where people can understand how they work. With Wax Off, this is very easy. I got a filthy, gross pipe, and I put wax off in it. It's so simple. Pour it in sexy, Carlos. So just pour it in a little set. No, that's too... Carlos, that's too sexy. Dial it back. Okay, Carlos, pick it up and shake that. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, you little... Okay, now take it and rinse it out with water. It's been too long. Wash it. Okay, now Carlos, bring it back and show them the clean one. Okay, there it is. And there it is. It is clean and sexy. That is it. We are done now. Enjoy the photos and buy Wax Off because it is super sexy. Vidal tools, everybody.
Back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios, KKID 92.9. Hey, before we get into our next little deal we've got going on, Justin has come up with real dispensary, fake dispensary, which is a lot of fun. I want to give a big shout out to Robust Cannabis out here in Cuba, Missouri. I love them because they're organic. If you guys haven't pulled off those big red bags off the shelves and tried them, make sure you do. Look for Robust. Like some of the best strains out there doing their thing today, especially if you're talking about organic, sustainable cannabis. California Raisins, of course.
Absolutely.
Took our Super Bowl title down.
Right.
So if you want to talk about the number one strain on this show, go check out that Cali Raisins by Robust.
That wasn't even a contest.
It was.
I know. We talked about it. It's just too good of stuff.
And yeah, Cali Raisins did knock everything out.
Well, I got, Emily said you just can't go wrong. Right out of the gate.
All right. So I want to talk about a little something before we jump into real dispensary, fake dispensary. I'm going to read off a little something, and then we're going to just talk about it a little bit because this one might frustrate some of you a little bit, Steve.
Okay.
You know, you ready to be mad?
You got the duct tape, right?
Nope, but we don't need it. You
Oddly specific thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It puts the lotion on the Steve.
Take me down to my chair, man.
All right. A Missouri House committee discussed a bill meant to mirror Illinois' open container law for having marijuana in vehicles. A bill from Representative Kent Hayden, that's a Republican out of Mexico, Missouri, would require that all marijuana products in vehicles be kept in odor-proof and child-proof containers. Odor-proof and child-proof containers. He said, I don't claim to be an expert on marijuana. I've never inhaled. Ha ha, Mr. Hayden. Funny. He said, earning laughs from members of the House Crime Prevention and Public Safety Committee. He said, so let's clear the air. Ha ha. This guy tells one more weed joke. I'm going to go talk to the guy personally. Like, stop telling jokes. It's not funny. The idea for legislation, he said, came from local sheriffs who expressed frustration about enforcing the driving while intoxicated provisions under the 38-page constitutional amendment, which appeared on the November ballot as Amendment 3 and was approved by voters. People can't consume marijuana while driving a vehicle or while riding in a vehicle under Amendment 3. However, officers cannot use smelling marijuana as the basis for detention, search, or arrest. Amendment 3 specifically prohibits even passengers from smoking marijuana in the car, said Adrian County Sheriff Matt Oler, testifying in favor of the bill. However, it lays out nothing as far as how we're supposed to deal with that. There's no process. Nobody knows. He called Amendment 3 a 38-page mess that doesn't address public safety or how to deal with consuming marijuana on public roadways. Geez, why isn't it in there?
Okay, so this is really simple to me.
Okay.
If you get pulled over with weed in your car, they confiscate everything in your car. You're not going to drive with much. You have to forfeit everything.
I'm not.
Well, all your tools, but then you wouldn't travel with it, would you?
Well,
think about the one-y business, how much that would grow.
See, you're trying to make bread over here. I know what you're doing. You're trying to sell one-hitters. Okay. All right. All right, here he goes. Here's what this officer said. He said, the sheriff, he said, my family drives up and down the road every day. The last thing I want is for them to be hit by an intoxicated driver. Now, I agree with him. His definition of intoxicated driver is what I have a problem with. Now, he said the bill was modeled after Illinois' 2021 open container law for marijuana. Several members of the committee and even a representative from MoCan Trade, an association for cannabis professionals, said they supported the intent of the bill, but they didn't think an open container law would get to the heart of their concerns, preventing both intoxicated drivers and child poisoning. They're saying, we agree, like, sure, but that's not the way to do it. And it's not going to put you in a good place. Quote, here's a quote for you from Representative Lane Roberts, a Republican in Joplin. I was around when open container laws came into existence in the early 70s, said Rep. Lane Roberts, who chairs the committee, and some really foolish decisions descended from that. Sometimes we don't understand either the intent or the letter of the law, and we make mistakes. This guy's got the idea. Missouri currently doesn't have an open container law for alcohol. It's only a crime when someone's seen drinking it while driving, said Representative Jeff Myers in Warrenton. He served as a Missouri Highway Patrolman for 30 years. And an open container law for marijuana would be even more complicated than alcohol, he said, because the products are packaged in a number of ways. He said on the enforcement side is how I look at it. He said it's going to be pretty difficult to be able to drill down into what's an open container. Now, Representative Mackey out of St. Louis, this guy, he's a genius too. He said the idea of something being childproof is also vague. He said, you go to the marijuana store, they don't give it to you in a childproof container. So that requires anybody who buys marijuana to then transfer it to some sort of container. That's asking a lot. Now, here's my problem. What pot shop are you walking into that they're not giving you your product into? We have laws here. They're not even reading the laws we currently have and understanding them, and now they want to put some more on top of them. Are you even going to read fully into those laws that you put on top?
Right.
Like, I don't get the progress or the process. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, and I mean, I don't go to a gas station and buy a pint of vodka and 3 Sprites and see anybody pushing back on what I'm going to do with that stuff.
Right, but we know what's cracking.
I mean, it's that the number of small format bottles of alcohol I used to sell selling liquor was shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, like pallets of 50 ml bottles going into one gas station, and they reordered it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Telling me that people are enjoying vodka and 50 ml shots
And
anywhere
why-
other than
Right.
out in the public.
And why are politicians racing to this? Where's the prize at the end of this that they're going after? Because I'll tell you right now, if there's a group of politicians and they're running in one direction, there's a prize at the end of it. I want to know who's got the prize. What's in the box? That's what I want to know. Why are you guys so hip to finding out? Let's just be real about it. Like even in states that have these open container laws, these driving while consuming laws, there aren't any numbers out there. Nobody's getting popped for this stuff. Just relax. Let our industry, which is one of the most regulated industries on the face of this planet, let it regulate itself. We'll show you. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry for a reason because it's out there making waves. Relax while we do it. All right, you guys. That brings us up to let's have some fun now.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, man. I get mad
Okay,
sometimes.
you done?
But, hey, yeah, absolutely. Stop trying to give me a breathalyzer, bro.
Well, no, but again, the whole consumption thing is just let us be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let us be. You guys go about your business. We'll take care of ourselves.
Yeah, and I don't like how they say that like it's specifically illegal to be a passenger in a car smoking. It's illegal to consume publicly. Just say that because we'll make us some spaces. Don't worry about that part of it. We'll worry about that. We'll regulate it.
That's going to ruin the limo business for decades to come.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Steve are about to go buy limos. Didn't you used to have a limo, Steve?
Yes.
Would it have been a different ball game if you could hotbox that? You did hotbox the limo, didn't you?
I would never have done that.
Uh-huh. All right, folks, that brings us up to our next segment, which normally is real strain, fake strain game, but Justin has come up with real dispensary, fake dispensary. Justin, lay us down some rules, and who do you want to keep score?
Whoever we can trust, so probably not Tim.
I've
seen how he keeps score on a golf course. He's got that pencil diet, you know.
Oh man!
Oh.
He's not lying.
He stole my hat, so I got to get my payback when I can. But,
all right, we'll go Steve, Tim, Waxy then.
Sure.
Okay.
So just like real strain, fake strain, the only difference is these are dispensary names, so they get a little weird. There's a little bit of you'll get the vibe that we're getting here, but one of them will be real, one of them will be fake, and you need to pick the real one, not the fake one.
Okay. All right.
So some of these are pretty darn creative too. I got to give you credit for that.
Good job, buddy. Let me know ahead of time which ones those are you got creative with.
Option C on all 50-50 shots. So the first set is built weed tough or like a bud. I think they're playing on the Ford and Chevy stuff there.
Or are they, Justin? Are they?
One of these is legit. The other one is totally made up.
What's you first, Steve? You're giving to him again.
Built weed tough or like a bud.
And I'll take option C.
Hold up, man. When in doubt, Charlie out.
I'm gonna go like a bud.
So you're going with B.
Yep, me too. Is that my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with what was the first one?
Built weed tough.
I'm going with that one. But I think I lost, but I'm just trying to get ahead of the game here.
It's built weed tough. It's an actual dispensary name.
Really?
What's up, sucker fish? I'm in the lead.
Like a bud. Somebody needs to. You need to.
Who was that singer?
Like a bud.
Like a rock.
That would have been Bob
Seger.
Seger.
Bob Seger, yeah.
Bob Seger.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is cup o' weed or weed after a long day. These get weird fast, man. I'm telling you.
Is it cup o' weed or cup of?
I think it's cup o' weed is what it says here. So cup dash o dash weed.
It is St. Patty's, man.
Like cup o' noodles, I think is what they were taking a spin on.
I'm gonna go with cup o' weed.
Cup of weed.
All right, and then what was the other one?
Weed after a long day.
See, I think that there's somebody out there that maybe wasn't feeling very creative and was like, I'm just gonna open weed after a long day. I'm going with that one.
It is weed after a long day. That's the real dispensary.
I'm crushing it.
I'm thinking that's just too many letters. That sign costs too much.
I know it's a mouthful.
That website sucks.
Their SEO is terrible.
All right.
All right. The next one is Weed Wanted or THC-MCA, which I think is a YMCA spin. Like they may have taken over an old YMCA. I don't know, but THC-MCA.
THC-MCA.
I'm going the opposite of you this time.
Okay.
What was the other one? Because I think you put too much fluff in that one on purpose. What was the other one?
Weed Wanted.
I'm going with Weed Wanted. Me and Tim are.
Okay. It's Weed Wanted is the real one.
Okay. I was like, hold on.
Man.
This dispenser's not
There we
going to
go.
work.
Right
You
at
changed.
No, I didn't change.
You threw a flag. You were like, I
threw a
changed.
flag? There's no flags. There's no flags. Stop. Just stop. Okay.
All right.
Wait,
So the
wait,
next
oh.
the next one is it bud in, bud out, or dab in, dab out?
This is like
Bud
wax,
in,
wax,
bud out.
Dab in, dab out.
wax on, wax off.
That's option C.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
going with the bud in, bud out.
It is bud in, bud out. They're down in New Mexico.
All right,
And it's a great play on the great movie Blood In, Blood Out. So if you haven't seen
great-
that, it's about
yeah.
Mexican gangs in prison
It's
with Danny
gangsta.
Trejo, and it's a good one.
Trejo was in that. I don't remember that.
Trejo was in that.
I'll rewatch that.
All right, so the next one is Truck Toke, which I think is a truck stop reference thing, or Joint Rest Stop.
Truck toke or joint rest stop.
So I'm guessing this one's on a highway and a heavily trafficked truck lane, but
Missouri needs cooler dispensary names.
I'll go with the trunk toke.
Nobody said trunk toke.
Truck toke.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Truck toke.
What was the other one?
Joint Rest Stop.
I'm going with joint rest stop.
It is Joint Rest Stop.
Thank you.
West stop.
West Stop.
That's right.
West Stop.
Waxy side. All right. What's the next one?
The next one is the Weedery or Weed Haberdashery. Pinky's up on that one.
I'll go with weedery.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going weedery as well.
It is Weedery, but Weed
All right.
Haberdashery sounds pretty bougie.
I would
doesn't it?
still go there. I would go there. I would have Pinky's up expectations too. I would. I
Yeah.
probably would even leave my tie dye at home.
Hashadabbery.
Hash.
A hash and pepper.
They're even better.
You said, is there a dab of hashery in there?
All right.
Yes,
I buy a
there
shirt
is.
from there.
Yes, there is.
All right. So the next one is it joint venture or glass and pass?
Both those are fire. You know, go ahead, Steve. I know what this one is.
Say it again.
Joint venture or glass and pass?
The glass and pass just reminds me of glass and hash under a glass when you were,
Pick the other one. You don't want that one.
no, but that was awful good back in the day.
Yeah. Pass the hashery.
All right, I'll go with the first one.
Joint venture?
Yeah, joint venture.
No, I think you made that one up.
Well, I don't.
I'll take the.
I'll
I'll
explain.
go with the hash.
Nobody
Glass
said
and
that.
pass?
Yeah, glass and pass.
Glass and pass.
Glass and pass.
I'm also going to go glass and pass because first off, that's a fire name, and it sounds like there's really a shop like that. And the other one, I know that's just a joke that we've said before, so I think we won, Tim.
The other one's actually the name of the dispensary. It's joint venture.
Son of a. What are we allowed to say on the radio?
Not that.
All right.
No.
Oh man,
All right.
so
Man,
Steve got that one.
I am bad at this game.
Yeah.
You are in last place. You are in last place, Tim.
So the next one is it Blitzweed or Speedweed?
Oh, I'm going with Blitzweed.
I'll go speedweed.
I'm gonna have to.
Do they have delivery?
It makes
I'm going
sense.
I'm going with Blitzweed too.
It's Speedweed is the
Dang it.
actual dispensary.
I figured it would be. That's so. Who got that one?
I did.
Tim did, yeah.
All right.
It's okay.
Don't get all mad about it. I did.
All right.
No, I need one.
All right. I see.
I kind of want to get back in the game a
You're
little bit.
tied. Clean now.
So the next one is it Canna Church or
I hope
Weed
so.
Buddha?
Canna Church or Weed Buddha? Steve, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Weed Buddha.
Me too. Weed Buddha.
Canada Church.
It's Weed Buddha.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would throw church into the mix quite yet.
Oh, I don't know.
Not in Missouri, especially. That's the Bible Belt kind of thing there, you know?
Right.
It's coming though.
I got them 25
It's coming.
milligram Bible
We
belts.
did apply for a church.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
John's
So
gonna-
technically, the Coptic faith, that is a church that also is very heavy in the cannabis. We got
Green
Father
Bud.
Joe Brown that could verify.
Yeah.
that
like
if
it.
we need
We should get Father Joe
When's it
Brown
start?
back. These guys are having
Sunday
a
at
completely,
4:20.
totally different conversation over here. I don't know what just happened.
All right.
What's the next one? Big shout out to Father Joe Brown.
Yeah. So the next one, is it greener pastures or green space?
Greener pastures or green space?
I'm going to go with Green Space.
Greener pastures.
I'm going with green space.
It's greener pastures.
Oh,
Oh
good
man,
job.
this isn't good. Tim's coming up. Okay.
All right. So the last one, is it
The
hashtag
last one, I'm
dispensary?
tied with Tim.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
go ahead.
Hashtag dispensary or I don't care dispensary. Which is great because it's like the I don't care bar. Because when you ask somebody, like, hey, where do you want to go? I don't care. And then you go, okay. And then you take them there and like, that's not what I meant. So this is a great play on that
I
terrible
used to
party.
live next to a bar called The Office. And I
Yeah.
know that's what people do. I'm going to the office. Leave me
The
alone.
office, the library,
Name it
I don't
anything
care.
else but.
Hey, let's reverse order this time, Waxy. Why don't you go first?
No,
Yeah.
I see what you're doing, bro. Because
Go ahead.
I'm
we're
just saying,
I
tied
think
up.
that's a
what do you
good
think,
idea.
Steve?
Because we're tied up.
Hey.
But you guys don't make the rules.
I'm going to
Justin
lose
does.
anyway, so I can go last.
Okay. All right. What is it again?
So hashtag dispensary or I don't care dispensary.
I'm going with hashtag dispensary.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking
I
too.
mean,
But
we can
what?
call it a tie. Now, Justin, you got a last one in case there's a tie?
Not currently.
I'm going hashtag. I,
You're going
I
ha-
like that one.
You're
Yeah.
going hashtag. Well, hold on now.
You want to go to the other one?
Listen. Am I allowed to change my answer?
Are you being competitive right now?
I think that I am going to change my answer, and
Perfect.
I'm going to change it to
I'll take the
I
hashtag.
don't give up. What is it called?
The I don't care. That was a good
Oh,
save.
yeah. I don't care dispensary. I think is the answer, and I think that you're going down with hashtag dispensary.
10-4.
I'm going with hashtag. I'll go down with you, Tim.
Thanks, Steve-O.
Well, it is hashtag dispensary is the real one.
Justin, you were breaking up on your end. Nobody heard you.
The I don't care bar was the inspiration for it. So someone's got to
I
do it.
know
in
that
the-
when
in
you
this
started
cannabis
talking
space.
about the I don't care.
That was my
bar.
theory. That's why I had to go hashtag because he sold that way too hard.
Let's go back and change my answer again. I'm going to go with hashtag dispensary.
That's a good
That's
game.
a tie
Justin.
game. All right, great game.
And there's so many great names out there for dispensaries and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a blast. So we can mix it up, have a little fun because I can't wait to hear German strains trying to be pronounced on this show. That'll
Yeah, I
be
was
Oh,
waiting for
yeah,
your, I
come
thought your
on.
Blitz one was going to be a German strain. That's why I went the other way.
Yeah, so the place that I went into that I sent the pictures back up,
Yeah,
they had a really unique name, dispensary.
that's really what it was.
That was all it was. But I'm telling you, where it was in this village in Austria, everybody walked by it. I mean, it was like everybody was turning, looking at their head, and of course, I walk right in. Right?
Just killer foot traffic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
prime retail space.
one of the only German words I know is the word for brazier, which is stopsen vom floppen.
I don't know if that's real. Folks who are listening to the Waxy Browns Flower Power Hour. Steve, you ready for a break? All right. Folks, when we get back, we're going to have a lot more fun. I got a couple things we're going to talk about, and we've got a couple of our Courage and Cannabis interviews. And when we get back, we'll tell you all about what we got going on there. All right, you guys listen to the Flower Power Hour live from the Robust Cannabis Studios right here at K-Kid 92.9.
Let's give a warm welcome to Smoke River Cannabis.
Hello, Missouri. Are you ready?
Premium brand. Different. We're the best. High quality. Unique. Premium brand. Different. Unique. Premium high quality. We're different. We're different. Premium brand.
At Besame Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You are getting sleepy. You want to wax off. You need to wax off. Donde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? You will wax off as soon as you can. Wax off. Good. Wax off.
Yo, what's up? My name is Klaus, and I'm very excited to be a part of Team Wax Off with the commercials. My man Carlos is the guy who pushes the button on the camera, but I'm really the creative genius. So what I like to do with products is I put them in places where people can understand how they work. With Wax Off, this is very easy. I got a filthy, gross pipe, and I put wax off in it. It's so simple. Pour it in sexy, Carlos. So just pour it in a little. No, that's too. Carlos, it's too sexy. Dial it back. Okay, Carlos, pick it up and shake that. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, you little. Okay, now take it and rinse it out with water. It's been too long. Wash it. Okay, now Carlos, bring it back and show them the clean one. Okay, there it is. And there it is. It is clean and sexy. That is it. We are done now. Enjoy the photos. And buy Wax Off because it is super sexy.
Vidal Toodles, everybody.
Let's give a warm welcome to Smoke River Cannabis.
Hello, Missouri. Are you ready?
People always ask me, how do you do it? What's your secret? How long did it take? What kind of dedication do you have? How do you do it every day? Well, the truth is, I'm high as shit most of the time, and I wax off a lot. I mean a lot.
Everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live at the Robust Cannabis Studios, K-Kid 92.9. We've had a heck of a show so far. We're almost to that halfway point, and we've got a couple really great interviews coming up. But I want to talk a little bit about athletes. Our next interview is a younger man named Gerald Moore Jr., who had some prospects with the Raiders and played in Ohio. And he's got some great conversation that he's going to talk to us about. Before that, I want to talk to you a little bit about another athlete. And I'll let you guys get as mad as you want. Tim, I know you'll want to jump in and talk a little bit about this. You guys remember who John Singleton was? Baseball player? Check this out. Professional athletes should be measured, and tell me if you don't agree with this right off the bat. Professional athletes should be measured by their competitive abilities and the content of their character.
Agreed.
Yep.
I think on the surface it's easy to agree with that.
The word is professional athletes. So they should never be measured by the presence of marijuana in their system. You do agree with that?
100%.
Okay. Unfortunately, many professional athletes over the years were subjected to that. Obviously, not so much anymore because the MLB and some of these folks have really backed up. But let's talk about this a little bit. One of those athletes is first baseman John Singleton, who after serving multiple suspensions for marijuana use and being out of the MLB in recent years is now mounting an inspiring comeback. In addition to receiving a second chance at a professional career in baseball, Singleton should also be afforded a long overdue apology for what he was subjected to by the league. Here's the story.
And a big fat check.
Yeah, and a check. Why not? And he's just going to buy weed with it. That sounds good. Singleton was initially drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies in the 8th round of the 2009 draft. Fresh out of high school at the time, he was traded 2 years later to the Houston Astros, where he was considered by many Major League Baseball analysts to be a rising star. However, by 2018, he was dropped by the Astros, and his return to the big leagues seemed unlikely. Here's why. During Singleton's initial tenure in professional baseball, he was suspended 3 separate times for testing positive for marijuana. The initial incident occurred in June 2012 when he was playing his first season at AA. Later that year in December, he failed another drug test due to marijuana, and as a result, received a 50-game suspension.
Wow.
50-game suspension. As part of his MLB punishment for his second offense, Singleton was evaluated by a league therapist and determined to be, quote, a drug addict. Okay? Yeah. That determination was immediately followed by a month-long stay at an inpatient rehabilitation center. Can you imagine getting locked up for 30 days in a rehab center for weed?
Smoking weed.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Wild. He said, been there, done that. I believe you. It was a month long. Singleton eventually bounced back from the controversy and had the best season of his career in 2014. I don't know why. Just to eventually fail another drug test in 2018, resulting in a 100-game suspension. 100-game suspension.
Wow.
And an unceremonious exit from the league. Meanwhile, the years of Singleton's professional baseball career were paralleled by a wave of cannabis reform victories across the country. When he was first drafted in 2009, cannabis wasn't legal for adult use in any state in the nation. By 2018, when he was exited, 10 states had passed an adult use legalization measure. Today, we're up to 21. It's wild. Even the major professional sports leagues have softened their stance on cannabis use by players, including the Major League Baseball. Check this out. In late 2019, roughly a year after Singleton was essentially driven out of the league, the MLB removed cannabis from its list of substances that were banned. Furthermore, the league itself is now in the cannabis industry via that partnership with CBD company Charlotte's Web. Somebody owes this cat an apology.
Well, just go back to the NFL. 2 years ago, who was it? Snoop Dogg and Eminem and Dr. and Dre and all those
Super
guys.
Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
Upside down 50 Cent? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the plump one.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So you're talking about me. I'm like, oh, man.
No. But then Rihanna this year?
Right.
I mean, come on. Of course they're in it.
Yeah. And next year, I'm like just fully expecting Cheech and Chong themselves to step out during the Super Bowl. I'm like, you keep bringing out our weed people like all day long.
Right. They're marketing to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think there's money in the NFL going to be behind this industry.
Yeah. All the cats around me are like, why is Rihanna playing? And I'm like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like, that's just how it works. Like, KC's in the game. Sorry. Like, we're smoking out here. It's wild, man.
It'd be like people thinking that you don't smoke weed.
Right.
That's not right.
Or I just smoke it. Like,
Right.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I do think that the baseball league owes Mr. Singleton an apology and maybe some grandfathered checks, like Mr. Wheeler was saying over here. Because
he got suspended for 50 the first time,
He's doing
50
the math.
games, and then he got suspended for 100 games. I mean, you think about it from the standpoint of
his wallet.
Well, yeah, and them, I mean, it's kind of like everybody who got in trouble is now being, freed of your crime and
expunge this guy's paycheck.
Well, I mean, no offense, but he needs to be expunged on from the league, and maybe a big fat check to compensate for what income he lost.
I'm about to go Jerry Maguire here, man. I'm telling you, I'm about to go rep this guy.
Well,
All
if
right.
you think about it, they get paid per game.
Right.
So, I mean, they're straight commission. They don't play, they don't get paid.
Right. Or sit on the bench.
No, that's real.
Or
All
listen to K-Kid 92.9 Salem Raw at the top of the hour.
Oh, good call.
Oh!
You got us, man.
Hey.
Good job,
You hit it right on time,
got the
too,
dogs
buddy.
barking.
Yeah.
Good job, Route 66 Labs. All right, for our next interview, I don't even have to tee it up very much. It tees it up itself when it gets going. But as you folks out there know, I've been selected to participate, and the team has, in the Courage and Cannabis Volume 2 book by Dr. Bridget Cole-Williams. So we've got an interview with a superstar there, Gerald Moore Jr. Justin, Route 66 Labs, why don't you go ahead and take that away, brother?
All right.
The Courage and Cannabis authors. Available for sale this spring. Visit courageandcannabis.com for more info.
And we are back into the Courage and Cannabis Volume 2 series. Courage and Cannabis Volume 2 is a wonderful book coming out this spring by Dr. Bridget Cole-Williams, including a lot of wonderful authors in there who are telling their superstar stories to cannabis. I've got Gerald Moore Jr. on the show today. Gerald, welcome to the program, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. I'm super excited about this. This book, the first one was very successful, so I'm excited. I'm taking part in this, as well as lots of these authors that we've had on the show. Gerald, you have got one heck of a story that we are going to tell today, and I'm excited to be able to have this microphone here to do it. What a great time, Gerald. Let's talk a little bit first. I'd like to ask you what I ask a lot of my folks that come on the show here. What was your path to cannabis? What brought you there? How'd you get to where you're at today, and where are we going?
Yeah, so like most people, as a teenager, I tried it. I went to Catholic private school, played sports. I had friends that were, consuming. And one day, I decided I was going to take part. So it started about 16, 17 years old. And then I've been a cannabis consumer ever since.
Now, when you say cannabis consumer, that's we all are, but it seems like with your past, you've got a great past here with athleticism. Is a football, right?
Football, yeah.
Yeah. So you tried out for the NFL, and you've played on the Ohio Bobcats, which is all really cool. And I want to walk down those roads, but what I really want to know is, how did cannabis help you on the field, off the field, pre, after, all that? I'm real curious here if that was part of your lifestyle there as you were furthering your career.
For sure. So once I started, as a teenager, I realized the benefits, right? I realized that it was helping me relax. It was helping with pain mitigation, all the things that, football is a very violent sport, you know what I mean? So you're dealing with a lot of pain, plus just life. You deal with a lot of stress, anxiety, PTSD. I was born in upstate New York, so not the best circumstances. So once I got to college, I really realized that cannabis was helping me. In my, we train 3, 4, 5 times a week, play games on Saturdays. You're playing against guys that are huge, so that, it's just a real, combative thing. Yeah. So, really once I got to college, and then my degree was healthcare. So I was studying healthcare at the same time as I'm playing football, consuming cannabis. And so I just realized for me that cannabis was much better than the opioids that we were getting prescribed. It just made me feel better. It was better than alcohol, and so that was really part of my process. So I was kind of like my own test subject, while in college. I'm seeing the opioid epidemic. I'm seeing doctors prescribe us all types of things. Most of my teammates were consuming cannabis at the same time. So cannabis was just something that was just like, all right, everything that everybody's been telling me about this is kind of wrong.
Right.
From my perspective. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's a lie, so, but I also saw the stigma, right? Like a lot of guys are getting stigmatized because they'll come in the locker room smelling like weed. So then you're getting called a pothead or a stoner. So it was really around that time in college where I had to make that executive decision for my life, that I was like, this is going to be something for me. But I just had to be careful because you get drug tested in college by the NCAA, the school. So, you had to really walk that tightrope. And then you just want to keep your nose clean as well, because obviously character plays a role in the NFL if we want to draft you or pull you. So, I was a captain on my team my senior year. I was always looked at as a leader. So I always tried to keep my nose clean, without giving away that I was consuming. And then, got to my senior year. I had a few injuries. Hurt my foot, sprained my foot, which I lost a full season behind, sprained my Liz Frank. And then, once I got to my senior year and I was All-American too, my redshirt freshman year. I was top 10 in the country in interceptions as a redshirt freshman. Thank you. So, once I got to that point, people were like, oh, you about to go to the NFL. So then, I had to start thinking about my image and what I wanted to put out there. And so, once I got to my senior year, entered into the draft, and I was picked up as a undrafted free agent to the Oakland Raiders when the Raiders were in Oakland. So I got a free agent tryout, performed really well, but then obviously the business side of the NFL kicked in, and they had already signed somebody to a contract. I ended up getting cut, and then I just called it quits after that. I was like, I made it farther than I ever thought I was going to make it, with most of my body intact, no crazy injuries, no, brain trauma like that. So,
I want to point out that not only were you surviving then with cannabis, but you were trailblazing. Nowadays, the NFL, the NBA, MLB, they're a lot less responsive and reactive to cannabis and allowing a lot more of that.
And
sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Think about all the ex-athletes that are in the
They're
industry
all over the
now,
place, right?
you know?
You can't walk in a dispensary
You know?
without seeing, Gary Payton and Mike Tyson everywhere.
Well,
you know?
Mike Tyson, I mean,
and
got
pulling
it.
off of Gerald's story,
yeah,
I'm looking back to my own career with football and all
I
that.
was
I mean,
gonna
I used to
ask
take
you, Dustin.
I used to take 6 ibuprofen before every game just so I could get through the game because I always had so much lingering pain and the atomic balm and all this stuff because cannabis wasn't even in the option for us. So and I'm now somebody I've had I think 12 or 13 concussions. I'm not sure.
I said I was
which is
sorry for a few of them.
But I'm worried about CTE, and I know that cannabis has the neurogenic, path. See, it's happening right now. CTE moment right there. But having that ability to kind of regenerate the nerve endings and all that kind of stuff, which could better my life. So I'm really, I'm changing the reason why I didn't go pro is because I didn't smoke weed when I was in college. That's it. I mean, I only played for 2 weeks, but it is what it is, right?
You and Gerald need to start a new weed team, man. We're in.
Team
All
weed.
right. Gerald, let's keep going a little bit. So after school, after you tried out for the NFL and all that, what was the next step there that brought you to today?
Yeah, so that process was tough. It was a transition, right? I grew up playing sports. I was a 2-sport athlete, football and basketball, the majority of my life. So it was really figuring out what was next, because I really hadn't worked or done anything outside of football. I had a internship at a dermatology office in college, and they ended up hiring me on. So I ended up going back home. Most of my adolescence was in Washington, D.C., Maryland area. So I went back home. Parents got divorced while I was in school, dad and stepmom. So it was kind of like toxic at home. So I ended up coming back to Ohio and ended up moving in with my girlfriend, who's now my wife. And I just started working, working little odd jobs. I ended up getting a corporate gig doing sales for Verizon for a few years. Then I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. So I started my own sports performance company doing sports performance training and coaching, health and wellness. And I would coach anybody from youth athletes all the way to senior citizens, really. And then we didn't really get our cannabis program until 2019. So,
Ohio.
There was Ohio. Yeah. So there was a huge gap. I graduated in 2012, 2013 year. So there was about a 6-year gap and period where I was just consuming, illegally. And it was one of those things that, it wasn't really big. I guess I really wasn't into the legalization or advocacy of it. I really didn't know much about it, and so it wasn't until we got legalization that I started to use my voice and my platform. Because I was used to being on camera, being an athlete, but again, being an athlete, you can only talk about certain things, right? You can't talk about cannabis because now you're coming out and they're like, well, that's illegal, So it really gave me the freedom to start, sharing my story a little bit more, sharing how cannabis helped me as an athlete. And that's when I started Athletes in Cannabis. Because I knew there were a lot of athletes. I have tons of friends that play professional baseball, football, basketball, and we all consume, but none of them can talk about it. You know what I mean? And so I knew, me not being in the league, I had that privilege to come out and really start to share my story as a former All-American, as a former, ex-NFL free agent, to really share that story, because I knew it was a lot of guys that would love to share, but they just couldn't share. And so that was that was one of my reasons too for not going to the NFL. I was like, how free are you if you making millions of dollars, but you can't even consume cannabis? You can't invest in it. You can't even talk about it.
But you can get drunk. You can get as drunk as you want, and you can have all the opioids that they want to give you.
Right. You can have all the pills, getting all the Toradol shots, cortisone shots.
And cortisone ain't lining up to have you sponsor their. It's not. They're not handing out sponsorship money. It's not.
Right.
It's not the right path for an athlete.
Not at all. So yeah, that was kind of my path. Very windy road. And then I met Dr. Bridget, and I was like, well, she's a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, or a former doctor at the Cleveland Clinic. And I was like, Black woman. I was like, I'm all in.
Right.
And then obviously just the the social equity side. I was born in the hood. You know what I mean? So cannabis has always been around, but when you look at business side of it, we're nowhere to be found on the legal side. And so I just had a problem with that,
that is a national disaster that we are currently unwrapping as our gift to our gift to legal cannabis. It's just, it absolutely disgusts me, and I brought that up to you before the interview. And I'd like to touch on that for just a second here. Ohio has a medical program. How much social equity? How much room is there for the past in that program?
So right now we have a limited license program. So there's no social equity. Originally, when the bill was being introduced, there was some legislation that offered social equity, but then there was some pushback from some of the, big wigs that said it wasn't equitable for the big white guys. You know what I mean? So just to put it blunt, so they kind of put it out, but we have one fully vertically integrated Black female-owned company, which is Harvest of Ohio. So they have a cultivation, processing, and dispensing. Then we have Bena Leaves, which is just a processor. And then we have Nora Labs, which is just a processor. And those are the only companies that I know of out of a state of 11 million people. And we very limited license. They're not really opening up any more licensing. And then it's expensive. I think to get a license was like $100,000 just for the license.
Yeah.
And then, obviously you got to do security, you got to do a build out, you got to have a facility that's not close to a school or church. So
it's not reachable.
Yeah, it's not reachable for your average person.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because it's a national conversation we're having. We have not had a single state in the union roll out an effective social equity program with their cannabis programs. And I have very little faith that the federal government is going to help at all when they pull back whatever their legalization looks like as well. Gerald, I got another important question for you, and I think we're just about there. I want to ask you this. I'm a reader. I pick up Courage in Cannabis Volume 2. I open your chapter. What do you want me to walk away with?
I just want, it's really a humanization thing, you know what I mean? So it's humanizing myself as, not a lot of times athletes don't get looked at as human, so really sharing my story, coming from, being born in upstate New York, it's a true American story, really. I was born into poverty, working class America, was able to go to, an elite private school. Parents both worked for the federal government at one point. And then I was able to get a full ride to Ohio University. So I really want people to know that, skin color, dreads, whatever you want, don't judge a book by its cover, you know what I mean? And then, especially when it comes to cannabis, there's a lot of people consuming cannabis that are successful, that are able to, I'm a father, I'm a coach, I'm a husband, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm able to do a lot of things while consuming cannabis and using it for my medicine. So, I really want people to, walk away and see me as a human being, not just an object for people's entertainment, but also realizing that cannabis is something that is good for us. It's good for, I think, the human, just species as a whole. So I want people to have that well-rounded viewpoint of me.
Very, very cool.
Right.
Jared, we really appreciate you coming on. Now, on the show in the future, we do have lots of shows where we talk a little bit about sports and cannabis. I'd love to have you on in the future as well.
I'm game.
Awesome.
Just let me know.
Awesome. So Courage in Cannabis Volume 2, you folks are going to be able to pick that book up this spring. And I'm telling you now, like, if you think Gerald's story is amazing, it is, but there's so many more great stories in this book, including mine. I'd love for you guys to make sure you run out and read that. Make sure you guys follow the show. We'll have lots more authors from Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 on. Gerald, I'd love to have you on after the book releases, and we can kind of talk about where that ended up. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. It's been great.
Awesome stuff. That's Gerald Moore Jr. out of Ohio, Columbus there. Appreciate you very much. Folks, we are going to get back at it in just a little bit. You guys are listening to the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at KKID 92.9. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. What a good interview. Okay, so I noticed Tim Harms, my co-host here, you were listening to the whole interview there on your ears there. What'd you think of that?
Well, again, I just love to see a young guy like that take control of his path of life and make a choice. I mean, he didn't have to quit after he got kind of turned down from the Raiders. He could have kept trying to be somebody different.
Right.
But I think the plant was going to be a part of his life, and he knew that was going to be a struggle. And And again, it tears me up to see the guy. I'm a dad, I'm a father, I'm successful, and he's a coach. It's like, gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, just the lives that guy is able to touch.
Right.
There's a huge value in that kid's life.
Awesome stuff. Well, I guess we need to take a break. All right, you guys, we're gonna go pay some bills. When we get back, we're gonna go over some other stuff that's happening out there. We're gonna dive into the Gortosh a little bit. So you guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, and we appreciate that, live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9.
Let's give a warm welcome to Smoke River Cannabis.
Hello, Missouri. Are you ready?
Premium brand. We're the best. High quality. Unique. Premium brand. Different. Unique. Premium high quality. We're different. We're different. Premium brand.
At Besame Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You are getting sleepy. You want to wax off. You need to wax off. Donde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? You will wax off as soon as you can. Wax off. Good. Wax off.
Yo, what's up? My name is Klaus, and I'm very excited to be a part of Team Wax Off with the commercials. My man Carlos is the guy who pushes the button on the camera, but I'm really the creative genius. So what I like to do with products is I put them in places where people can understand how they work. With Wax Off, this is very easy. I got a filthy, gross pipe, and I put wax off in it. It's so simple. Pour it in sexy, Carlos. So just pour it in a little set. No, that's too... Carlos, that's too sexy. Dial it back. Okay, Carlos, pick it up and shake that. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, you little... Okay, now take it and rinse it out with water. It's been too long. Wash it. Okay, now, Carlos, bring it back and show them the clean one. Okay, there it is. And there it is. It is clean and sexy. That is it. We're done now. Enjoy the photos and buy wax off because it is super sexy. A Vidal Toodles, everybody.
Welcome back to Waxy Ground Flower Power Hour. Brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios. Cake it.
Don't look all
92.9.
shocked like we're not
Yeah,
there.
man. Yeah, man.
Just because you can't hear yourself talking don't mean you're not there.
It's all good, man.
Happy 420-ish.
Is it 420
Ish.
423.
That should be a thing, like happy 420-ish. Just whenever.
Well, I mean, you got from 20 to 29 in 59 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So
Technically,
we are
4:30.
back. We are back. Okay. So let's talk about the Gortosh. You guys want to get into it a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I gotta ask your guys' individual opinions as the guys on the show. Steve, you watched it with Jill at home.
Right.
What'd you think?
Like I told Justin, right off the bat, he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. He killed it.
Just to be a part of it, that was a lot of fun. I didn't really think it would come out as good as it did. You
were the hero, bro.
Well, I'm not saying because I was the hero that's why it came out so good, but it did come out better because I was the hero.
Of course.
No, it was a lot of fun, man. And Justin, you did a great job with the editing and everything, man. It was just really cool.
So you felt good about it, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Felt really good about it.
Tim, what do you think?
Again, I'm like, I don't know how Justin does. I mean, that dude's mind.
Yeah.
After him saying about all those concussions that he's had,
it makes more sense.
Yeah,
now.
he's all scrambled up.
He's banged up. He's banged around.
Dude, I tell you what, man, kudos to you. The time, the effort. I mean, the whole time as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, when did you do all this? With everything else you got going on, that had to have been a big project for you.
It helps. It helps my girlfriend works weekends, so I get Saturdays to do nothing but either work or try not to work, and so I just kept working on it. So
sounds perfect.
Well, kudos to you, brother.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to you, Tim. Part of what I noticed after watching it was that if I was a person that didn't have a lot of information or education about endocannabinoid system science, technology that has to do with cannabis, I would have walked away learning some things. And that's what I asked you guys in the beginning. I said, man, I want to have fun, Cheech and Chong, but we got to have a little education. And I look back and you brought the education. So I want to thank you for that, because I think that's one of the most important parts of everything that we do on this show is delivering a little bit of information while we're having a blast doing it. So
yeah, we also need to give kudos to Leslie Burns and Burns Army Surplus.
Burns Army Surplus Store. She sure did put up with us, didn't she?
Oh man, I can't tell you. That girl is such a blessing in my life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even like the Europe trip. I don't do that without her.
Right.
And yeah, so it's awesome. It was really to me, it was fun to watch that piece of it too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she hasn't seen it yet that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to see her
hasn't seen
reaction.
the video yet.
No,
Okay.
because my flight got back late. I kind of had it set up to where we'd get home at that time and sit down and watch it. But yeah,
she's in for a joy.
Yeah.
So Justin, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a lot of fun. The timing of it was the weirdest part of it because we filmed it right as Amendment 3 started kicking loose.
Right.
And so it was one of those things where, a lot of the people we talked to about being in it, like, oh, I'm so into this. This is going to be so much fun. And then all of a sudden it's like, I have so much stuff to get ready for legalization. I can't give you an hour to sit down and do this, or I can't do, and it's not their fault because let's face it. I mean, you guys are killing it with the adult use and they needed to support their businesses and make money with it. So, but we had a good time with it. I think it was a lot of fun. It was something that I don't know if I'd ever willingly want to do it again, but we can see what happens next time around. But we've had close to 800 some odd views, and it goes up every day because people are sharing it.
Okay.
The full video without some of the digital distortion we had on the live stream is up on YouTube now, so you can watch it whenever you want. Share it with friends, family, coworkers, politicians, whoever you want, and we'll see what happens.
I did. I shared it with Ron Hicks actually. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, so where's the Gortach go from here, Justin?
It goes away, we hope, but it's not going to happen, huh? Well, let's talk about that a little bit.
I can promise you, with the four of us, he ain't going away.
Yeah. So we can't just keep making movies all every year. Well, we could. It'd be a lot of fun. The Gortach 42 coming in 2029 or whatever.
It'll be like High School Musical. We'll just keep pounding on that drum until it stops paying out,
Right. I think the next step is I think we're doing the right thing by people going and watching the movie, understanding what the Gortach is, talking to their friends about it, having fun with it. I think that as it starts to catch legs, we'll probably see more of the Gortach later in the year. So,
well, it's probably going to get really, really upset come around 420. You got a big event over in Kansas City. We're doing another one down here in Edgar Springs.
How's the commercial go with Tim on it? It's about to get real smoky.
So when you think about it, probably over the next 6 weeks, maybe till May, he's probably going to be laying low.
Yeah.
Just with
as
much has been sold and stuff.
Yeah. I bet you our $1 billion market's going to bring the Gortach back. Go ahead, Justin.
The wildest thing about the whole thing is, you and I jumped on for the 10 minutes trying to get it to 7:10, and in that 10-minute window, about 6 minutes in, out of nowhere, the Facebook feed got cut.
Yeah.
Like Facebook deleted the live stream, and we had to get it fixed in real time so that it could air at 7:10.
It was wild, man. As soon as we started to go live, the Gortach entered the room. We were like, and we knew it right away. We both took that because we're seasoned Gortach hunters, right?
Yeah.
So we took that deep breath, like we could do this just like we did last time. Like it was good.
But is this the part where we kind of tease that we've got some other fun things lined up for Missouri this year, or are we not talking about that yet because we don't want to talk about the fun stuff?
Here's what I'm afraid of. We do have some big things coming up, but I'm afraid to give the Gortach wind of it. I'm afraid. I'll be honest. I think if you watch the movie, if you really watch the movie, I think that I'm the only one that has fear in this movie. The rest of you guys were willy-nilly. Justin, was armed to the teeth, felt pretty good about everything. Steve was hired in
I was double fisting it.
Yeah.
Well, and he had a drink when he was out in the woods. Like, who takes a cocktail with him hunting? But Steve does.
Yep, classic rock radio station owner. That's who does that.
It was like Trailer Park Boys. He was like, "Hey, come here."
I don't care. He said, Gortach, get me another glass of this.
And special thanks to your wife, Steve, for contributing one of the bloopers that I apparently missed, but decided, that was too priceless to not take out. So
what are you doing?
Even Marvel movies have bloopers. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you think if there was a sequel, like what would you guys do different? I wonder. What would you do different there, Tim?
Well, again, I think including the culture. Let's bring some more culture in. Let's bring some other people in it. Because there's a lot of stories out there that the Gortach has touched.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going back to what Dr. Bridget's creating with their book. There's a lot of those stories out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's not just if your crop failed, it could be the Gortash. If you tripped over your shoelace and bumped your head, it could be the Gortash in the right situation. You know? What do you think?
Then maybe a way to do it would be put a go hunt the Gortash, and let people film it, edit it, send it.
I got you.
You know
That's the sequel. What we'll do is we'll let 10 or 12 people sign up to go fight the Gortash, and we'll do like a tour, and we'll take them out there.
Right.
If we lose half of them to the Gortash, well, we're gonna need some kind of insurance for that. I don't want to pay.
We're also going to need some more hours in the day to put all that together.
They have to sign a waiver.
I
We're
wasn't
not
expecting-
responsible.
Hold on. And plus, yeah.
Can you put that together, Justin?
Justin, can you do that
Oh,
by
yeah.
April? By April?
Yeah, I'll be ready next Tuesday. I mean, don't even worry about it.
Thank you.
So, maybe like at Sesh Fest or something like that, we can start taking applications.
Yeah. I would
applications to hunt
the Gortash.
Well, you know what we really should do then, Justin, is we should sell Gortash hunting
passes, tags,
hunting tags, right?
Yeah.
Technically, we do already on thegortach.com.
Yeah, actually, I think we have them for sale. Actually,
there's all kinds of branded stuff on there. Actually, I got one of my things here. There you go. Got the Gortach hunting permit right there.
Justin has one right there on the YouTube side of things.
All right.
So the Gortash is out.
So the challenge is on. Who wants to go hunt the Gortash?
The Gortash is out. The movie's out. Justin, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that to help keep the Gortash away, does it help to sit down and have a session, watch the movie? Do you guys think that helps propel the Gortash back just a little more?
Well, I think
Absolutely.
you have to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why would you not want to get stoned before you watched it? I don't even
Or
understand.
any movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Actually, the thing that I would do differently if we did it again is I would actually consume cannabis this time instead of hemp, because now I can.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's one of those things. That was the worst part. You guys are smoking some of the most amazing smelling stuff. I'm just like, I want to smoke some too, but
Yeah.
I did hear a lot of the reference. Well, recreational's right around the corner. Well, recreational's right around the corner. Well, recreational's right around the corner.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a brilliant film. Make sure you guys get out there and see it. How's the old joke go? I watched a documentary on weed. I think that we should watch all documentaries like that. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Could be.
All right.
Could
All right.
be.
So I want to talk a little bit about Smoky River Entertainment District before we take any breaks or anything. I know you guys are real stoked about it. We're going to have a Waxy Brown Wax Off booth there. I know Justin has everything ready for that, for the booth.
Hey, Justin, are you going to document your trip the whole way?
Yeah, you're taking he's taking a train over.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's no chemicals on the same train, but
Yeah, is this safe for you?
it's Amtrak. But yeah, I figured it's
They're not
a
coming to
16-hour ride.
or anything like that, or
Yeah.
Ohio, So
I don't know.
Well, what's
I
weird
know-
is it's
Go ahead.
it's a 16-hour ride for me from Lamy, New Mexico to downtown Kansas City. But the nice thing is it's just, sit in a big cushy chair, and you've got no TSA. So, I can bring a cooler full of beer on if I really wanted to. I mean, they don't care.
They don't.
And no airports to deal with, none of that stuff. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to go and do that and enjoy it, and then relax and keep working, and apparently edit the Gortach 2.0 for the next year and all that kind of stuff.
No, I don't know if we could do it again, man. It was like that. I don't think that I could do the movie again. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress on my part having to consume that much cannabis. So I just not sure I could do it again, but I will. I will.
We might do acting classes beforehand too, just to kind of brush up a little bit, because it was. I mean, we did most of that in one take.
What did we do in one take? Even the bloopers stayed in.
Yeah, I mean, we did most of that in one take, which is a credit to you guys being able to ad lib and kind of do some stuff like that. But the fact that it was coherent is impressive, and the fact that we had some fun with it, and people got to see kind of us off the FCC bandwidth, so they got to see us for who we really are.
Yeah, we had some cussing, didn't we?
Lots.
Maybe. Yeah, lots of it.
Hey,
All
so
right.
one more time, where can people go look at that at?
Yeah, where can people watch the Gortash?
So you can either watch it on thegortach.com. Well, you can't do that yet because I haven't linked it yet. That's another thing I got to do. But you can go to our YouTube channel, and it's broken out by itself. That's the higher quality one. You can go onto the Gortach Facebook page and you can get the full length on there. You can also see Waxy and I kind of killing some time at the beginning if you want to do that. But we will put it up on the Gortach.com, so you'll have that. And then we'll see if IMDb recognizes it as a feature-length film, and then all 4 of us will have acting credits that are legit at some point. So that'll be kind of weird to put that on a resume.
Hey, does that get us media passes everywhere we go?
Not if you're an actor. You're done with media, bro. Now you're
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Technically, this show gets you media passes, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Interesting.
I want
like that.
I want to walk a red carpet. I've never done that before. I want to walk
Green
a red
carpet for you.
shag carpet.
Green
Green
carpet.
shag carpet. With my tie-dye. I
At
wanna
the
do
first
that.
Smoky River Entertainment Awards
Yeah.
banquet.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So after you're done watching the Gortach movie, make sure you guys go and get tickets for one of the biggest events that Missouri is going to see. You know, it's adult use time. It's time to celebrate our new laws, new rights, new regulations. And part of that is anyone 21 and up from any state, any territory that comes into Missouri can purchase and use cannabis. Smoky River Entertainment District, is going to be one of the world's largest consumption lounges. Now, by April 20th, it's going to look much more like a festival grounds as they build this thing out. But folks, you're going to want to be there on April.
Few phases.
Yeah, they got a few phases. We'll talk about that for sure. The because part of it's hotels and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the
Golf
first
courses.
the first show-
Frisbee golf.
I want the golf. I need to learn more golf.
All cannabis friendly.
Yeah, all cannabis friendly. First show pops off April 20th. The artists are Wiz Khalifa, Chevy Woods, Burner from Cookies. You've got Joey Badass, and you've got Smoke Dizza are playing. Now, those are all big names in cannabis hip hop. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I know we're all going to be there. I know, Steve, you're not too into hip hop very much. You're going to be kind of back by the tents and stuff. But what are you most excited? What are you most excited about here at seeing at Smoky River Entertainment District?
You know, I want to say the layout. You know,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's all gonna pan out and see it. I mean, and just be truthfully honest with you, seeing it from the ground up and being involved in it from the get-go,
Yeah.
that's what's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like you said, this is going to be known as one of the world's largest cannabis consumption
Yeah, they have
facilities.
folks from
you know.
Amsterdam that are like helping out with this. And
Right.
like they're gonna have a lot of really cool food trucks there. Our other sponsors are gonna be there. Vivid, I know, is gonna be there. Colorful Vibes has a big area there.
They got
yeah,
a booth.
yeah,
Yep,
you
right.
betcha. And quite a few more of the folks that we've got that hang around the show a lot. So
You know, and just watching it develop from the get-go and stuff, because like you said, you know, they're into their I'm probably going to say they're probably into 50% of their first phase by time 420 rolls around.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
really, they're trying to get the stage set to where they can have a decent crowd, everybody's safe.
By the end of
know.
it, you're gonna have a giant stage, right? And you've got like your lawn and your seats in front of there, and the VIP sections.
Right, it's going to
are
be
crazy.
on both sides, double-decker VIP booths
Man,
and
it's
stuff.
insane, right?
You know, and then
that's
your
just
catwalks down, you know.
yeah, that's just the area with the
Shopping
music.
areas.
Yeah, you go onto the cannabis concourse they have there. Lots of vendors, lots
Right.
of shopping opportunities.
Right.
Everything weed.
Right.
It's gonna
Right.
be a blast. And like you said,
Could be.
golf, frisbee golf, 3 hotels eventually are gonna be built there.
Right.
Can you imagine a hotel where you walk in and you go up there and you ask for the King smoking room and they don't mean cigarettes?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's. Go ahead, Justin.
No, it's something that the people I've talked to about it down here in New Mexico, they're like, that is so cool. How do we do it down here? I'm like, let's let Besame Hospitality get through the first year, and then we can hit them up about building 2 or 3 of them down here too, because it's the coolest idea. It's going to benefit so many people. So much of the industry is just going to have it be like their mecca. I mean, it's just going to be so cool. And I'm so angry that I moved from Omaha to Santa Fe, New Mexico, so I'm now 10 hours further away than I would have been if I would have stayed home. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have been right above it.
Yep.
You know what I think the coolest part to me is watching the Smoky River team operate this
Right,
and put this
right.
together. I mean, let's face it, the room that we were blessed to sit in around their team, that was impressive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now to be able to sit in the middle and watch them work, Again, that's going to be fun.
Think about it. I think what the show's like a little. How long are we out? A month?
Yeah.
What's the date today?
Today
Yeah,
is
the 15th.
Yeah, we're like a month and 5 days out from this thing. I'd be
Right.
freaking out if I had to throw a snow cone party out in the parking lot and I only had a month left. I'd be freaking out. But
Let's be honest. If you're throwing a snow cone party, I've got a lot of work to do. So
hey man, why not?
You got the ice shredder, right? Don't you?
yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
So now can we talk a little bit about Besame, and now they're in the position where they're getting ready to release a lot of products.
Sure.
And
Yeah, we
and
can
what
talk
they-
all about that. Let's talk about it for a second. So we have 3 sponsors that come from the Besame family. One of them is Bessa Hospitality. That's
Right.
your Besame dispensaries out there, as well as Smoky River Cannabis. That's their cannabis brand, their extracts, their flower, all that. And then they have Smoky River Entertainment District, which is the venue itself. All these things tie into each other.
Exactly.
The cool part is you go to their venue, right, on 420, there's a little spot where you can go order your cannabis. Guess what? Now go watch a little bit of music, come back 15 minutes later or whatever the time is, pick your cannabis up. They got it right there with being delivered for you. Whatever you want off their menus, delivered from the Besame shop to Smoky River Entertainment District, where you're going to smoke the Smoky Entertainment cannabis or Smoky River cannabis. It's an absolute thrill to be working with these folks because they're really doing it right. They want to make sure that you have the best time that you have ever had when it comes to cannabis, and not just at these venues, but inside their dispensaries where you're getting top-notch service from top-notch bud tenders who have the education that you want to hear about. They want to tell you about terpenes. They want to tell you about the products that are going to help with your ailments. They want to be there with more of a conversation than just 33% THC. So
Right.
Yeah.
we got it's really cool to be working with these cats. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, and then they've got one of the cooler sponsors that I've ever seen to help keep everyone's glass and oneies and pipes and all that kind of stuff clean. It's this little crazy product that no one's ever heard of called Wax Off. So
Yeah. Waxy Brown Wax Off is a proud sponsor of the 420 Fest happening at Smoky River Entertainment District. And we're proud to join lots of other great sponsors there, including lots of our friends from like Mo Dank, Tyson, Mike Tyson's company. The Vivid team is going to be there loud and proud. It's going to be a really good time to share this space with all these great companies.
Right.
I want a T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm saying. We'll be up tomorrow. Tim and I are traveling up to Kansas City to go meet with Dr. Smoke, who is the big premier VIP sponsor for this event. So we're gonna go up and have a good time with them. Sit down with Joey and the team from Besame and see what else we can do for these cats. I know we're gonna be. Justin, can we talk about the reviews?
Reviews, right?
I mean, it's not like set in stone yet, but
Okay.
as people
All right.
get super excited about Smoky River Cannabis, they'll start seeing some pretty candid reviews coming out about that stuff from some people that we know.
Okay.
We're gonna take you for a ride through some of these products that everybody's got going on out there.
That's
But
awesome.
so what a cool circle of friendship that we have with these folks, because it takes a lot for a company to believe in a bunch of stoners on the radio. So we really appreciate all of our sponsors. Go ahead, Justin, before we take off here.
I just love the fact that there's somebody in Kansas right now clutching their pearls with their head about to explode because a 17,000 person cannabis friendly amphitheater is opening up right across the river.
Yep.
That makes me happy in a weird way. And I don't know what that is, but
Go smoke that jealousy kush. Hey, you guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios right here at K-Kid. We'll be back to wind out the show.
Let's give a warm welcome to Smoky River Cannabis.
Hello, Missouri. Are you ready?
Premium brand. Different. Organic. We're the best. High quality. Unique. Premium brand. Different. Unique. Premium high quality. We're different. We're different. Premium brand.
At Besame Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You are getting sleepy. You want to wax off. You need to wax off. Donde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? You will wax off as soon as you can. Wax off. Good. Wax off.
The more good days. Stop in and say hi today at Good Day Farm Dispensary on Kings Highway in Rolla or on the North Service Road in St. Clair. Okay, folks, here it is, our interview with Bronwyn Scarberry. We'll catch you guys next week.
Interview with one of the Courage in Cannabis authors. Available for sale this spring. Visit courageincannabis.com for more info.
I am going to continue our interview series with the Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 book with a very special guest that we've got on right now. Bronwyn Scarberry out of Northeastern Ohio has got a wonderful story that we're going to talk about. Welcome to the program, Bronwyn.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Very cool. So I have to say, it's a new dawn here in the United States of America when we're putting out books full of authors who have stories about their path to cannabis, and yours is certainly one to listen to. I'd love to start this off with a special question that I like to ask a lot of my guests, and that's what was your path to cannabis? How did you get to here, and what's happening with you now?
My path to cannabis began in the womb. My mom smoked cannabis while she was pregnant with me. So it's something I've been familiar with my whole life.
Perfect.
But what got me here is in 2020, I was referred for pain management and decided to turn that down and get my medical cannabis card instead. And I was a teacher. I was a 4th grade teacher, and I took a not state approved pen device, dab pen, that had a side button and coils and had some rosin in it. I was heading to the chiropractor that day. I have fibromyalgia and all kinds of stuff and arthritis and whatnot. And what I did was I had that pen in my purse. I meant to leave it in my car. I was traveling classrooms. It was during the pandemic, and put my purse, my computer, and my books on my cart, went to the next classroom, and I could smell it. The button had activated and leaked out. And anyone who's familiar with rosin knows that you can't really mask that aroma.
And it's happened. It's happened to all of us that carry those pens around. But for you, for someone like me, if that happens, I've got to go clean up my bag or whatever. For you, a totally different event happened.
Yeah, the event that happened for me was I was met at the end of the day in my classroom by the superintendent of our schools, our union president, and a sheriff. Search was conducted on me. Wow. I had put the pen in my car during my lunch break, and I am currently under a suspension of my teaching license, which ends in December of 2024.
Wow. So currently suspended.
And I'm a medical patient.
Right.
Did I mention that?
Were you? Yeah, you did. Were you a medical patient at the time of the harassment? I'm going to call it.
I was.
Wow. Okay. And that brought you to where we're at now. I want to give everybody a quick glance at what at the kind of why we're here today, and that's because this book, Courage in Cannabis, Volume 2, has brought together dozens of authors that all have really intense stories about this plant, and whether it's about saving their life or helping with an ailment, or dealing with what you're dealing with, which is kind of all the above. It's very interesting that well, I'm gonna put it like this: teachers can't use cannabis. It's federally funded system. Our school system is. Even most private school teachers can't, but they do, because all of us in America do. We all have an endocannabinoid system, and we utilize it. What do you got going on now that's going to allow you to continue to talk about cannabis and bring forward this conversation? This book's going to give you such a platform to be able to communicate from.
I'm hoping to either continue writing in the cannabis space or educating in the cannabis space, because I believe in this plant so much. I lost my career for it. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. I want to be able to educate. I want to get back financially, at least halfway back to where I was. I'm fortunate that I have strong spousal support, but it's been rough. So that's kind of what my goal is to educate, let people know what's happening out there, and hopefully maybe it will inspire somebody to write patient protection language.
Yeah.
Patient protection language. That's wow. Okay. Wow. What were you going to say, Justin?
Well, I'll say, I'm as we're talking, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I could teach children without being a little high. Like I might be a little too harsh, a little too scary. So I might have to medicate. Be like, okay, now we're going to do some coloring. Yeah.
Right. Kids are awesome. It's the adults in the school systems that suck.
You know.
You
hit the nail on the head.
All of them. All the nails. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, going forward, education kind of seems to be your passion. You had a passion that brought you to teaching all kinds of different subjects, but now off air, I talked to you a little bit, and you said your passion now is you want to educate people about cannabis and share your story that way.
Yes, I really do. Especially, I talk to a lot of patients here in the state, and with the language that's out there, our bud tenders cannot recommend products or consumption methods, anything like that. So these people are getting their cards and they have no idea what to do next.
Yeah.
And they're all ending up with like distillate carts, and they're in chronic pain, and it's doing nothing for them. Yeah. So, maybe be able to educate patients. I don't know what that looks like, but if you don't put it out in the universe, and
it's kind of hard to understand how they would give you guys medical cards and then not educate your bud tenders on what different cannabinoids go to what different ailments and different. I mean, there's so much to learn. That the bud deserves to have. Yeah.
The bud tenders know it. They're just not allowed to tell it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's like a doctor writing a script for hydrocodone and saying between 5 and 500 milligrams, you figure it out. Good luck.
Right. We get 45 days at a time is what we get. And each product, depending on how, yes.
So how many pounds is that?
Well, it depends. It's like, I don't even remember the full on what we're allowed to possess because I don't have the money for it.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. It's like 1 gram is a day.
Yeah. Oh, ugly. Okay.
And it depends on what you get. Flour eats up more days than concentrates or vapes or gummies or edibles.
Really?
It's a very bizarre system.
So in other words, your traditional market is flourishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in Michigan.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, either or. I know people who do both. I won't claim either.
So Bronwyn, I want to ask you a question here, and I've asked quite a few of the authors this same question. I'm opening up Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 with Bridget Cole Williams, Dr. Bridget Cole Williams, and I get to your chapter. What is it that you want me to walk away from having read and having retained?
I'm told that the power in my story is my vulnerability and my pivot. So just walking away with a little bit of courage that no matter what life throws at you, you can keep going.
Right on.
Wow.
And the plant's worth it.
I mean,
That's coming
from an activist who lost her complete career over his plant and only sees a bright future ahead with that plant.
Yes.
So that's powerful stuff.
So the educational wise that you're looking for, I mean, is there any universities that are now offering classes that they're looking for teachers and stuff like that? Is that something possible?
The Cleveland School of Cannabis is close, and I would love to be an educator there.
Very cool. Well, let's speak that into fruition. Then we did that.
Yeah. So
we want you out there talking to the folks because your story is phenomenal.
Thank you.
A lot of folks, have got a past that's damaged by prison or jail. A lot of folks have a past that's damaged by parents separating over things that the prohibition of cannabis has brought. You've got a completely different story. They literally within the breath of an afternoon came into your classroom and took everything from you, thinking they took everything from you, but in fact, it sounds like they've given you some new tools to put in your tool belt and go forward with.
Absolutely. What else can you do but keep going?
Right.
Keep on keeping on, man.
Right.
Right on. We appreciate you, Bronwyn Scarberry, out of Ohio, one of our favorite activists inside the Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 book. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for listening.
Of course. We're always here for that. Bronwyn, we're going to catch you next time. I'd love to have you on the show in the future when this book is released to talk about experience.
Absolutely. Would love to.
Perfect. All right, folks.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's
nice to meet you as well.
Catch you next time, Bronwyn. Folks, that's been a great interview for Bronwyn Scarberry, one of our authors from Courage in Cannabis Volume 2 book with Dr. Bridget Cole Williams. I'm super excited to be a part of that and have all these folks on the show. We'll be right back. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studio, K-Kid 92.9. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. It's been a great show. We can't wait to catch you guys next week, Wednesday, 3 to 5. Big shout out to Route 66 Labs for putting us on in K-Kid Radio. We'll catch you guys next week.
You are listening to KKID Salem Rolla.